Hello and welcome back to the channel. Very interesting thing that I found this morning, and that was this from here. I saw this on Twitter, and that is about Denise Go revealing her Star Wars character in Andor is surrounded by inept men that are lazy, slouching, and kind of corner-cutting boys. So, yeah, is this more third-rate feminism? Well, let's get into the story. So this article comes to us from Bounding Into Comics. Denise Go detailed that her character, Supervisor Deidre Miro, in the upcoming Star Wars series Andor is surrounded by inept men that she describes as lazy, slouching, kind of corner-cutting boys. Go spoke with Screen Rant alongside Kyle Solar, who plays Cyril Karn in the series, telling the outlet, Deidre, when we meet her, she's working for the ISB, and she's so proud to be doing that, but she's surrounded by what she considers to be quite inept men mostly. Well, no, all men, really, and they seem to be missing what she can see. And of course, that's because she's going to be the bestest ever. So is this going to be a case of having another Mary Sue foisted upon us? Well, I don't know about that, but it certainly does seem like they're going to go the third-rate feminism route, where they destroy all men, make all men look like they're, well, like she just said right here. I mean, this is the game plan. All men are inept, lazy, slouching, kind of corner-cutting. That's right out of the third-rate feminist playbook that we get from so many projects today out of Hollywood, but a lot particularly out of Disney. Go continued, I think for Deidre, she is super ambitious, so I don't think you could ever have considered that if Deidre had used her powers for good, well, I don't think she was ever going to go down that route. So we know that she's not a good person, but she's still got to be surrounded by incompetent men because we need to root for the villain. She wants to be part of the most powerful organization in the world, and so the way to do that is to prove yourself by doing something that somebody else isn't doing, and that is catching Cassian Andor. I mean, we all know how this ends. It doesn't work, because we've all seen Rogue One by now. Sorry to spoil that for everyone in case you've been, well, living under a rock for the past 6 years. She went on to state, I think also what I love is that what's really conflicting about Deidre is that it's a new thing, isn't it, to have a woman in this world, in this part. Yeah, I would agree. This is a new thing, relatively new, although this is basically what Disney has been doing in all of their entertainment properties recently. We've got the MCU, where they're trying to basically make everyone a female, and only the female characters are competent. They completely gutted Doctor Strange, which was horrific. And yeah, I mean, even Thor Love and Thunder wasn't exactly a smashing success, but it did, of course, have King Valkyrie and Natalie Portman as Mighty Thor. Or Thora, I don't know, what should we call her? But at least in that case, those characters are actually the good characters. Of course, we have Scarlet Witch, which I would essentially argue is no longer a good character at all. And the fact that I don't know, the whole beginning of that movie where, you know, Doctor Strange is just like, hey, you imprisoned a bunch of people with the town for like a year or whatever. It's not a big deal. You're okay. We're okay. Everything's okay. And then she goes off and does horrible stuff again. I'm thinking maybe that the Avengers is just not run by anyone anymore, and nobody has a brain in their body, and I don't know why they would just excuse such behavior, but clearly it wasn't the right thing to do. Now, was it? Because in retrospect, yeah, she's not a good person, at least not at the beginning of the movie. That much is pretty obvious in my opinion. So a part of you, and I know that for a lot of women watching it, they'll be like, oh my God, go sister, you're doing so well. Like, who would root? Okay, yeah. But then they have to remember, oh yeah, she's a fascist. Yeah, like, but you know, this is so in line with Disney these days where, well, not just Disney, but a lot of Hollywood studios who are pushing these women, but they're not good characters. They're not positive characters. I mean, what kind of role models are we setting up for young girls these days? Be the villain? Look, there's some people who just identify with the villains. They're fine. They're normal people. They don't mind rooting for the villain or rooting for a less than ideal person in an aspect, but generally speaking, you should not be celebrating these people, and you should make it pretty clear and obvious that they are not the good person. And I'm hoping they do that in this show, but who's to know if they actually do or not from the way she's talking about it. And it's pretty clear that it seems like they're certainly not going to go the route of making her seem like she's legitimately a strong female character on her own. Instead, they're going to, as they always do, surround her with a bunch of inept men so that she looks better, because they just simply don't seem to know how to write a strong female character. Like, imagine if in every movie where you had a strong male protagonist, all the other males were dumbasses. They were just stupid, and that's why the guy who is the main protagonist stands out. They don't do that. So why can't you write a strong female character who just has skills and is either a protagonist or an antagonist, but either way is strong in the skills that they have on their own? Maybe they're surrounded by good men, like men who have definitely have skills as well and are talented, but they're just better. I mean, that comes across better to me than this world where you create buffoons everywhere, which is not realistic. And then you plop a woman down in there and go, look at how amazing she is. It's just idiotic. Who doesn't see through that and go, yeah, this is dumb. This is the reason why She-Hulk sucks, is because that's the tactic that they have taken. All the male characters, save for like a handful, literally like maybe 2 or 3, are absolute imbeciles or buffoons, and they're treated this way, as inept all the time. And they're such a negative, over-the-top stereotype that it's difficult to watch. Now, Go concluded, so you're sort of, on the one hand, you want a woman in a man's world to succeed, but it's like, no, it's the wrong world, though. We don't want that. She should make you feel slightly uncomfortable at your alliances. Yeah, I think if you want to ally yourself with a female character just because she's a female character, even though she's the bad guy, like, what the hell is wrong with you? It's absolutely idiotic. In the Andor production brief provided by Lucasfilm, the company describes Go's character as an ambitious supervisor with the Imperial Security Bureau who is on the hunt for Cassian Andor and will stop at nothing to achieve her goal. Now, there's nothing wrong with writing a driven female character, and it can be done, even though they're surrounded by people who are intelligent and maybe surrounded by some people who aren't intelligent. I mean, have none of these people ever seen Silence of the Lambs? That's a masterclass in writing a strong female protagonist who is surrounded by a mixture of men who are extremely competent, one man who is an absolute evil genius, and other men who are obviously less competent, but they're good guys. They don't mean like, anything negative. There's a couple of guys in that movie that are just kind of assholes and they treat her like that. But that's also sort of like showing the things that she faces on a regular basis. And I think that's okay to have those things in there, but who knows what we're going to get? Who knows what absolute kind of crap fest that we're going to end up getting on this Andor show? And honestly, I knew that there were some things up with this show already. I haven't been paying attention to it because I just didn't want to deal with it. And yeah, now I saw this and I'm like, crap. This is going to be just another absolute piece of shit from Disney. Hopefully not, but honestly, this is not encouraging. And then, the article just goes on about who she is and, other people. And, if you want to read the rest of this, you can, but you've got the gist of it. You know what they're getting ready to do with this character. Honestly, hopefully they don't make Cassian Andor an idiot and a buffoon. That's my biggest concern, because if they do that, then they're basically retconning the guy that we saw in Rogue One. But who knows? They'll probably do it anyways because, well, the people who are writing at Disney now are a bunch of idiots and buffoons and inept people. I don't care whether they're male or female. Clearly, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to write characters at Disney these days. It's absolutely ridiculous. Well, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. In the meantime, you want to continue to smash the narrative, smash that like, share, and subscribe buttons. We are just a tad over 500 subscribers, and now we are making the push for 1,000. So if you want to help a small channel grow and you enjoy this video, then push that subscribe button. That's all I have for now, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.